outside lane, moving to the front, and he pops the wall. Gregson around. Oh my goodness, what a hit for Tommy Joe Martins.
Total carnage. Saw Noah Gregson get loose underneath those cars. The rest was history.
Justin Hay
Get loose right here, moving up the track, across that seam. It's just, the rest is history. Not a lot of damage out of Harrison Burton. I think he'll be okay right there. You can see Justin Haley, his car's. Man, I don't know. You think that's a lot of damage on there. You see these two cars right here. Man, that was a shot right there. I think it knocked his hands off the wheel. He hit so hard right there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I mean, sometimes we see these wrecks and you think massive impact, and from a driver's perspective, it wasn't that bad, and there's other times they don't look bad on TV, and they really sting.
Well, I hit one last night that was...
You're stung. Yeah, you're stung.
And I can tell you right now, that one did too.
Well, at that point, you really are just along for the ride and at the mercy of what's happening around you, and you see the hands up there. Why not hang on to the steering wheel in that situation?
Going to be able to push that Atlanta car back out front, more wrecking.
And around goes the 95 and the 37.
Hard hit.
Into the wall.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's awful.
Ryan Preece in the 37.
Fantastic. That's Ryan talking.
Glad to hear that.
Put the wind in it down. Man, that's good to see.
Yeah.
That was scary. That's one of those wrecks that when you're watching it, or especially if you're Ryan Preece in that car, the angle at which you're approaching that inside wall was a violent, violent crash. Going there. It's like a 17. Oh, no, ahead of them. The 95 gets in the wall. Christopher Bell and Ryan Newman. Looked like Ryan Newman got into, oh, Christopher Bell trying to get up in front of him. Then they make contact. Oh, poor Ryan Preece. We talked about he's had a string of last place finishes, and wow, such a, Junior and I in this booth, when he was heading to that wall, we were both cringing. Just not what you want to see, but it's good to see him get out of that car. Look at this angle of impact.
So violent. 3,400 pounds of race car just thrown up into the air after it bounced off that inside wall.
Need that aggravation because he just didn't get going like he needed to. What a big break that is for Briscoe.
He is pulled away, and now trouble.
There we go, we said it, guys.
Herbst, Hemrick, hard into the inside wall. And the caution is out. And since the leader did not get back to the white flag, we will re-rack him and have double overtime. Ah, man, you hate that for Michael Annette.
Whoa, a bit of a block there on, was that A.J. Allmendinger that Herbst attempted to block?
Yeah.
Oh, man, how close was that for A.J.?
Barely missed Daniel Hemrick. It's a big impact on the inside wall.
Man,
great to see
you and I have hit concrete walls. How refreshing it is to see these guys bounce off those safer barriers.
Yeah, it's such a different, it's so much different than hitting just a regular concrete wall.
Saw the same thing on the inside wall at Charlotte a couple of weeks ago.
Hey, y'all, watch this. This is going to be crazy. Watch what Allmendinger sees as the 8 goes across his bow.
Yeah, and there's nothing intentional right there. He was actually just going to try to push the 18 down the straightaway. We've seen when those two cars get locked together, the momentum that they have. And hey, let's be honest, he's racing for 100 grand, and there's only a few laps to go.
Big block there by Herbst, the push from behind.
It almost looked like Riley pulled down the block and then was straightening the wheel up at the exact same time that AJ got into to the back of him.
Trouble.
Hey, Greg.
Here's the big one. Man.
Well, there goes half the field.
Sure does.
And it's Ryan Newman leading them around. Oh,
Jimmy Johnson's
Jimmy Johnson.
hopes in his final Daytona 500.
Kurt Busch, another former Daytona 500 winner. Brad Keselowski trying to win it for the first time, all torn up. Bubba Wallace, Eric Almirola, one of the fastest Fords in this entire field. And here's Martin Truex, who couldn't get back to the lead pack and gets all torn up.
You can see Joey Logano really aggressive to the rear bumper of the 10. He's going to push him all the way up to the 2. And they just, right before the 10 gets there, there's a little bit of movement. And that little bit of movement, when you make that much contact, turns your car right around. That's exactly what happened to Brad Keselowski and the 10 of Almirola.
And that happens right in front of most of the field.
And that really all started with a big push from Joey Logano. Remember Joey Logano talking on the radio earlier about, you got to tell me when I'm pushing that car and it's going to make contact with the car in front of us. Well, that happened right there with his teammate.
Here's our Ford onboard camera with Logano.
You could hear he started to lift, but unfortunately Almirola's car started sort of swaying back and forth right before he made contact with the 2. Hooks his bumper, turns him around.
Oh, he slammed Alex Bowman. And then it's on. And for the second time in less than a handful of years, Eric Almirola ends up being knocked out of a good chance to win the Daytona 500.
A pack like this, especially when you're a rookie. Oh, there it goes. In the middle.
Oh, no.
Austin laid himself upside down as the 45 of Majeski.
Let's hope he gets back on his tires here.
That thing's square on the roof. What a shame.
Time Majeski and his truck comes to a stop.
You just know with all that movement, bouncing back and forth, side to side, trying to side draft, one guy zigs, the other one zags, and you have a mess. Probably the beginning, and yes, there it is. Todd Gilliland in back of the...
That's Fogelman in the 0-2, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then, man, he just... Majeski just turned sideways down the front, and it just tipped right over. NASCAR does so much work in the wind tunnel to have flaps, air flaps, different panels on the truck that blow away that is supposed to prevent that, but probably just one of those circumstances that put him in a real jeopardy.
Yeah, and you know, bumping through the tri-oval here is the sketchiest place to do it. And you see that big set that you saw that white truck make right there. He needed room to save it, and you try to do everything you can to not run into the cars. You try to do everything you can to keep your truck going straight. And unfortunately, wrong place at the wrong time for Ty. This race is out of control. I don't know what you're thinking.
Rhodes in it, and there goes Rhodes. Contact.
Big right, come on, straight it out, straight it out, straight it out, straight it out, straight up. Go straight, back. Come on straight, keep coming straight, get off them.
So many involved. Jesse Little, the 97 around, the 13 of Johnny Sauter in it as well. Sheldon Creed. There's Tyler Ankrum in the 26, and Ben Rhodes. Stuart Friesen. And with 3 to go, the caution is out, and Grant Enfinger, who had gotten shuffled from the lead all the way back to 13th, is out front. This is how it started.
Ben Rhodes from the bumper of Johnny Sauter, but you don't know. He might have been sideways already. Just these guys were just so close and pushing so hard.
Yeah, you're pushing 3 wide, and as we can tell over and over again, when a car gets to another back bumper, they just become unstable. And yeah, it's a bad spot for the 99 of Ben Rhodes to be in. He had the 98 door-to-door with him, which is the most unstable your car is going to be, and then a push comes behind you on the exit of the corner as the banking flattens out. You're along for the ride.
What about Matt Crafton slipping through? And let's go on board with Austin Hill and watch his driving skills on display here as he makes it through as well. That's what you call cool under fire right there. Backed off the gas, was patient, waited for the hole to open, and then drove through it.
And that's the thing, you don't want to slam the brakes because the car behind you might run you over. So it's a tough spot to get through these things.
Now, did you see right before Sauter went into the back of Rhodes, he bobbled. That truck went up the racetrack. I think he was loose, got a little bit out of control, lost some momentum, and I think that's why Johnny hit him.
Could be right.
Todd Gilliland in that 38. He's had such a strong truck tonight. Here's the 51 of Riley Herbst.
Look at the move by Hill in the 16, right around the outside of Herbst.
It's his teammate.
Tyler Reddick out front. Now Tyler's going to try to block.
He's in the fence.
Up into the wall he goes. The 18 also in the wall. Eric Jones gets caught up in it as well. The big one does happen. The 47, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., McDowell. Austin Dillon caught up in this. That's Ryan Newman in the 6. Kurt Busch in the 1.
The 20 car, Reddick's going to the inside. I didn't think he was going to get clear when Jones went to help, but he did. He goes up to block into that outside line. Some contact there with the 18, both of them in the fence. Then behind him, the 24, the 48, the 21. I think all those three got by with no damage. The 24, we got to get another look at him and make sure he didn't get some damage on his right side. But you said it, Junior, right here, Tyler Reddick clear, way too aggressive of a block. No way Kyle Busch could really do anything there. And then everything behind it just is complete chaos.
A huge hit by that 37 that gets turned back up the racetrack.
Yeah, head on into that outside wall for Ryan Preece.
He's had some hard hits this year. Yeah, it's been a bad year.
Yeah, JTG Doherty Racing has suffered through quite a few disappointments.
See, the contact right there got the 8 loose. Puts them both in the fence. Man, this Reddick trying to win this race. All right, let's keep an eye.
9 out of shape. Here comes the 22. Logano's going to take the lead away from Denny Hamlin. 2 laps to go.
Bubba Wallace on the outside.
Big run. Contact made again. Bubba Wallace sideways. Can he save it?
William Byron. They're ready.
Now the 22 goes around.
Hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake.
Caution's going to come out now. Big wreck behind him. Bubba Wallace got through. Tyler Reddick hard hit. Jimmy Johnson caught up in it in the 48.
Yeah, big damage on Jimmy's car.
Could this be it for the 7-time champion? Not making the playoffs in his final year.
William Byron. So there's big contact right there with Bubba Wallace. Then William Byron through the middle. Even more contact with William Byron. I think that's where maybe the 22 car lost the right rear tire. Either that or just got turned around. Yeah, once Joey gets up the racetrack, watch right here. There's contact all the way off turn 4, coming through the trial. Well, Joey makes a big move. Feeling like he's in really good shape right here. Bubba Wallace to the outside. The 11 is to the back of Joey Logano. That gets him into Bubba Wallace. William Byron makes it 4 wide. Now that's when they make the contact, cut the right rear tire. Matty D could not get slowed down, and that's how quickly things happen at Daytona. Just a point of the race where you can't lift. You cannot lift right there.
Not a great restart here as Ryan C gets off to a good start, and now they're 4 wide going into 1.
That's it.
Oh, and around goes the 7, hard into the outside wall.
Buddy, hang on, hang on.
On the apron, the 21 of Anthony Alfredo was into the wall hard. He's upside down, sliding through 1 and 2. Looks like the 18 back there of Riley Herbst also involved. AMR safety crew will get to Anthony Alfredo quickly here.
The big run goes to the apron. Next thing we know, we're 4 wide on the apron, Jeff.
Yeah, everybody's got to go. Everybody has tires trying to get track position, and Allgaier was just on the apron, entered the corner on the apron, and ended up getting up into the side of the 21.
Yeah, he ran out of, at some point, you have to make the corner. The corner has the banking. There were so many cars above him, he couldn't get up on the banking. It looked like he lost control. Take another look at it. Focus on that bright red or orange number 7 back here. That's kind of where the whole thing starts.
And normally you think you're going to get down here, you're going to slide up into the racetrack, but he just never had a chance to. Allgaier just kind of, I think, needed to give that spot up, get out of the throttle, but knowing there's a race win, if you can make it work, maybe ahead of you, just chose to stay in the gas.
And look at this car. It gets up on its side. It's sliding. You know, these cars have roof flaps that design them to stay on the ground when you see a high speed rollover at, say, a restrictor plate track. But here, that wasn't really an aerodynamic thing. The cars aren't going at top speed on this restart. That's just the force of this car hitting that outside wall, throws it up into the air, and then, Jeff, as we saw, it slides to a stop on its roof.
Yeah, there was another car involved in this, too, that got him up and upside down when he did hit the wall. Take another look. Here's the 18 of Riley. Herbst, he gets into him.
Both of those young drivers are having good nights tonight.
When you see a car gets upside down, Jeff, it takes me back to the technology we don't talk about so much. From a 5-point to a 6-point to a 7-point seatbelt harness, all of those points that are added are down around your hips and legs for this reason, to keep a driver pulled straight down in the seat so they don't go up when a car gets upside down.
That's a big impact. I mean, obviously it's dramatic when he rolls over, but as you said, Steve, the impact is what rolled him over. The advancement inside these race cars' seats, the limit of the movement of the driver is so important. The belts you just spoke about, the seat technology, the head surrounds, the HON system, all of those things designed to limit mobility, to keep everything intact with the driver. Just such a different world today. And the wall that he hit, it's a safer barrier, absorbs energy. Just such a different world than it was 20 years ago.
And you talk about...
And he's got it. 98 to the point. Can he clear? Yes. Comes up right in front of Gregson.
Oh, wreck.
And we got trouble. That's Jeff Burton. Austin Cindric around.
A lot of great cars right here.
Oh, no. Big hits, too.
We didn't have a big one in this race 1 year ago.
That's inside 10 to go at Daytona.
Yeah,
That's all I can say about that.
Pushing back and forth on a restart. Bad things happen.
You saw Briscoe pull up, big block for the lead there. He got squirrely. I thought he was going to get turned around, and unfortunately it was back a little bit farther back. Lots of tore up cars right here.
Team is going to push the 9. And 22 is going to catch up to
98
the 8.
comes up and blocks and stacks him up right here. 22 gets in the back of the 8, knocks him down. The rest is history.
Just kind of one of those stack ups.
But it's a block. A block stacked him up and created that, but that block was a necessity. If the 98 of Chase Briscoe wouldn't have moved up and slowed down the momentum, he would have been passed right there.
Where is the balance on that, Brad? That's a conversation that's been a focal point all week long.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to continue to see this. And part of it is, these cars can take pushes, but as it works its way back, that energy works its way back, as it did here. The 8 car couldn't take a push. He was already lifting and slowing down. Then he got hit from the back. Car's already light. Instantly turns him around. It's just, to me, that's just one of them racing deals. There are some blocks that I think are bad blocks. I don't think that was a terrible block. He made one move, and it just all stacked up.
One thing I saw, he didn't quite get all the way up in front of him. It was like he was trying to figure out, do I get up there? Do I not? Am I clear? It was like he didn't trust his instinct, or the spotter telling him didn't quite get all the way up.
Any of this related to inexperience as we go on board with Jeff Burton?
22. There we go. Okay, Noah's got room.
The 9 car was moving around a lot right there.
There you go. Still inside. I'm coming.
The accordion effect.
Keselowski trying Hamlin for 4.
Oh, Stenhouse, heavy damage. Big wreck. Tyler Reddick, Cole Custer.
Oh, Ricky Stenhouse.
Bowman.
He is having a hero or zero kind of week.
Boyer in the 14 on the bottom. 47 of Stenhouse. Here comes Jimmy Johnson. Comes off of turn 2. And he just makes contact with that left rear of the 47. I don't know if Stenhouse had to check up a little bit when he caught the 42 of Kenseth there, but just looked to me like maybe Jimmy misjudged getting into the in behind the 47 of Stenhouse.
I think Kurt Busch may also have some damage from that one.
Well, I'd like to see that one again.
Well, let's ride with Kurt Busch. I think he was just alongside or in front of it. Nope. Back of it, hard to tell there.
Ooh, oh, that's pretty heavy damage for Kurt Busch.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick got into the back of Kurt Busch.
You can see the 47 checks up a tiny bit right there before Jimmy Johnson makes contact with him. The 47 had a run on the 40. Watch Kenseth in the 42. Now see Kenseth get loose right there and almost hits the outside wall. He has to check up. Jimmy Johnson has no idea. He can't see the 42. And as the 47 of Stenhouse checks up, Jimmy Johnson runs into the left rear and spins him around.
Ooh. Cole Custer,
Boy.
Kurt Busch, Tyler Reddick. Nowhere to go and little time to react.
Four behind him. Oh, the 12 gets loose up the racetrack.
And the 22 almost into him. He has to check up. They all check up behind him.
And the 4 almost got into turning 2. Now the 3 wide.
And around goes the 18. He catches the 19. Martrex Jr. into the wall.
Straight. Get going. They're wrecking behind it. Pick it up a little bit.
Contact. Cole, Custer involved.
From the highest of high to now the low. Cole Custer wins at Kentucky and now wrecks out at Texas.
He has to go somewhere, run into each other, and then look how close everybody is and just not enough room. Watch that 18 car.
Man.
Yeah, that's
Truex got in the fence hard there.
Yeah, he did. They got hit hard.
Yeah, that's a bad angle.
Stenhouse Jr.
We'll ride along with Kevin Harvick.
Go low, go low. Hold your line here, inside, 3 wide top, 3 wide top, tight, 3 wide top. Keep digging, keep digging, keep digging, keep digging, keep digging. They're clear, yellow's out. Middle begin, top is clear. Stay middle here, stay middle with the 18.
Yeah, Kurt was trying to stay out of the quarter panel. He was trying not to hit the 10 car, but really just didn't have the room.
Look at that.
Yeah.
There's got to be damage on that 18 car.
I'm telling you, the splitter.
Oh, there we go.
Sheldon Creed.
Hang on to it, buddy. That is going to jumble up everybody up front. Good save.
Oh, no. Big accident deeper in the field.
The accordion effect wiped out huge. There's Zane Smith. Oh,
Joe
man.
Nemechek,
Playoff drivers involved in that one.
Dawson Cram in that 41.
Man, that's a mess.
Hey, but this started it. The block that Sheldon Creed throws right there, it backed the field up.
Creed saved it, but as you said, Mike, it backed others up, and that's what led to the accident.
Watch this move.
It's just too late to get back to the bottom, and it's not like Austin Hill can check up that quick. And then the accordion effect happens, and it's about the 5th or 6th truck back on the inside lane where it bottles up. And those guys are all along for the ride. Nothing that Zane Smith can do. The 17 truck was trying to go around the outside. It's just, when you're now blocking, the wrecks are starting up further and further and further to the front. And the Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and the trucks, and then it's those guys towards the back that end up with the big change of speed.
Unfortunate for that 24, Chase Purdy.
Look at that job that the 15 of Tanner Gray does.
Yeah, Gray got through there.
That was awesome.
Lap 108, you're clear. 108 at the line here.
Oh, we got a crash.
48 goes around. The big one happening. The one's upside down.
Slow, big wreck behind you.
Kurt Busch climbed all over the top of the 41 of Custer. The 2 is around. Playoff contenders involved. Kurt Busch won a week ago. He's safe into the round of 8. Everyone else is still fighting for points and positions. The 62, Brendan Gaughan, his final NASCAR race was taking place, and he has severe damage to that car.
14 car has the 48 car out of control through the tribal and gets into the left rear quarter panel and turns the 48.
Yeah, right there, the 14's pushing the 48. Gets him turning around. Now, just off the right. Kurt pushed way up in the air. Fortunately, came down on his tires. There it starts, right there. That trial, we talked about it earlier, that is the worst place. That's where your car has the least amount of grip around this racetrack.
And remember, these race cars are 3,400 pounds flying through the air like toy cars.
On front, right there on 3 up, right there. Low, 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 low. Straight, low, low. Come on, straight. Hold the brake, nothing's coming. Left. All right, hold the brake right there. We're just gonna have a little bit of damage.
So right there, it starts. It seems like it gets calmed down, but another bit of contact. Now the 48's around, into the side of the 1.
And the 1's headed into the outside wall at full speed. Frightening view out the front of that car. As you know, that impact's coming. Anywhere